That's important because these are the things that kind of really throw a monkey wrench into some of the clinical trials when people become, their electrolytes and they get dehydrated. So it's an important topic.
So when I stop eating carbohydrates and ramp up my fat, by the way, I do want to go back to, one other point. You keep saying high protein. Can you define high protein in this context? Are you talking high by the standards of the RDA, or are you just saying are you saying 1 gram per pound of body weight? Is that sort of your guidance?
Yeah, historically, 8 to 10 to 12% was used with ketogenic diets. So I'm talking about a ketogenic diet that's 20 to 30% protein. So that's considered high.
But that's hard for people, I think, sometimes. You can obviously back calculate into that by the calories, but do you find it easier to just say, look, keep your carbs at 50 grams and try to get them from high fiber carbs, get your protein to X grams, and then limit your total calories to whatever, 3,000 with fat filling the rest? In other words, what is it typically working out to in terms of grams per pound of body weight in protein?
Yeah, in protein. If me, for example, right, so would be upwards of, I'm about 220 pounds. So that would be, I know it sounds crazy, but from the average RD registered dietitian, but 220 grams of protein.
Yeah.
So that would be the upper end if I'm very active. And today, maybe I won't get that, or when I'm traveling, but that amount of protein, I think, is the upper end. I don't think there's any benefits to go above and beyond that.
And at that level of protein, you're not undergoing so much gluconeogenesis that you're making too much glucose that's offsetting the ketone process?
Yeah, everybody's a unique metabolic entity, so they're going to have a different response. But for me personally, especially having eaten 400 or 500 grams of protein, and I'm not exaggerating there, when I was in my late teens and 20s, that works for me. That level of protein works for me. For some people, especially if they're going to jump from 50 grams a day or the RDA recommendations to and you want to do that to ideal body weight. So if you have someone,
because the RDA for you is 80 grams.
Yeah,
exactly 80
right.
grams.
Yep.
You're 100 kilos. Yeah. The RDA recommends you have 80 grams of protein, not 220 grams.
Yeah.
At 80 grams, you would not be able to maintain your muscle.
No, not in my context. No, definitely not. The more muscle you have, the more protein. They just have much higher protein turnover. So you're breaking down protein, building protein. That whole cascade is amped up probably several times higher in the especially if you're working out and breaking down protein and you have a fast metabolism.